welcome back to Call the Damn Leads, the show by sales professionals for sales professionals. I'm your host, Drew B. Wilson. With more than 2 decades in sales, I've seen it, been through it, heard about it. Now I'm bringing it to you, my favorite people in the world, the sales community. Because let's be honest, this is the greatest job on earth. Doesn't matter where you come from, what background, what personality type. You can create an amazing life in sales. Today's guest, no stranger to the journey, is Mr. Daniel Goddard. Welcome to the show.
Drewby, my friend, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited to be here with you. I want to jump right in. I want to hear your crazy sales story.
I began in sales probably when I started my acting career back in '94, because you realize when you start acting, you walk in a room, it's about selling yourself. Everything is selling yourself. You know, even when you go and buy a cup of coffee, you're selling yourself, because you'll notice that if you walk into a Starbucks and you order coffee a certain way, what you get back is what you give is what you get back. So everything that we do to some extent is sales. So ultimately, my acting career led me to soap operas, where I did over 1,000 episodes on Young the Restless. And I ultimately started my own marketing company. But what I learned through the whole process of acting is I would meet people who were strangers. I would meet people that I would go to a fan event and I would do an autograph signing or a personal appearance, and you would get to the point where you would meet all these people who were there for the same purpose, which was they had a love of Young and the Restless and they had a love of soap operas. But along this journey, they would then get to the front of the line, and then you'd see all these strangers who were now in groups. And along that process of coming there to see us or to meet the cast and the people from the show, they realized they had a lot in common with themselves other than just that show. And they would get to the front of the line and they'd be like, you know, I didn't know these people before I started, you know, this thing today. And now we have all these things in common. So that got me thinking, how do we create a product that will allow strangers to meet and strangers to connect with things they have in common, which is the next journey, next part of my journey, which was launching an AI networking platform called Disco. It's basically, the idea is how do you take people, find what they have in common, and then allow AI and an algorithm to match them together. Then once you've done that, how then do you allow those people who have those things in common to start a conversation? Because a lot of people meet and they have things in common, but they don't have the ability to start that conversation. So that's what Disco does. It basically allows people to find each other no matter where you are in the world. Drop yourself into any GPS location anywhere in the world, find people in that area that match you, and then begin a conversation. So everything along the way and the journey that we go upon in life is about meeting strangers, converting those strangers into people who are no longer strangers, and then finding some form of deal flow. So that's my journey. That's where I'm at. And that's kind of the path that I've been on now for the last couple of years.
That's awesome. And what I really like about what you said early on was, you know, everything we do is sales. People don't always want to admit to it, but like, you're selling yourself the moment you walk up out the door. The moment you wake up, you're selling yourself on doing the thing that you know you need to do every day. And I love the idea of leveraging people's interests so that you can create community, because at the end of the day, it becomes so much easier as a sales professional to sell more of your products and services when there's a community of people who know you, who like you, and who trust you. And oftentimes, as you mentioned, the hardest thing for people to do is talk to a stranger. And so I'd be really curious, like, what was it that really made you think, hey, AI is a platform that we can use to start creating this, you know, interconnectivity between people, especially as it's starting to blow up right now in the world of sales?
I think it all comes down to time management. Because as you say, everything is sales. Whether you're dropping your kid off at school for the first day in kindergarten, how your school associates with you as a parent is how you present yourself to them. So how do you leverage AI in any aspect of your life to allow you to find a way to cut through the red tape and the mystery of all that new experience? And I think with AI, there's two schools of thought with AI. Either it's going to destroy mankind and get rid of every job there is. There'll be no truck drivers. There'll be no accountants. There'll be no lawyers. Basically, it can do everything better. You look at China at the moment. They've got factories that build 24/7. They're building ICM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, 3,000 a year. And they're just pumping them out in factories. So AI, from a very big picture, looks like it's the end of the world. But I don't see AI in that way. I see AI as leveraging the human need for connection will never dissipate. Whether we become in the next 100 years dependent upon AI friends, AI boyfriends, girlfriends, lovers, whatever, and we start becoming more insular, I think at the nucleus of all humans and the need to procreate, there is an ever-present need to have community. And that's what you were bringing up and touching upon. So I see AI as a way to build community, because once you have one person, you put him with another person, then all of a sudden the AI is somewhat irrelevant because it's done its match, and then humans will take over. And then you add another person to community, another person to community, and then you have a hive mindset. So I think AI, from my perspective, is it's a granular thing that leads to a beach. And it's all those little pieces of sand on their own, but when they come together, they do form that community. So I think AI has to be seen as a tool and not as a Terminator fear factory. And that's why we turned to AI for this.
I love that. And, as a sales professional, one of the hard things for me watching, because I train salespeople and, call the damn leads exists because so many people want to hide behind their screen and send emails and text messages and all that. And what I think is interesting is you see all these marketing guys that are like, oh, we'll create AI chatbots and AI callers and all of these things. But in my own experience, they don't understand the nuance of human linguistics and emotions and connection. Whereas a tool to create content and to create connection and community, I think it's unbeatable, especially from a time management standpoint. Like if you got to write a 10-page paper, like that thing will knock it out like that. But to have a 1-hour conversation with someone, it just cannot reach that level. Will it someday? Maybe. I don't know yet. We're not there. But I'd be curious, like for you, with a community standpoint and your disco program, I think that's what you called it. Is it really just like matching the people based on interest, or does it actually communicate with them as well?
It matches you first and foremost. You choose the tags, whether they're social or work. We have 100 tags that are social, 100 tags that are work, and we basically have thousands of tags in there that you can refresh and change the tags. But we have like 100 of each that allow people to find those deep commonalities that you have. Then once you have those tags, and then I could be walking down the street and I could pass you, and as I enter your radius, the application would tell me, hey, Drewby's coming by. This guy has 20 tags in common with you. And then from there, I get to say, okay, here are the tags I have in common. I'd like to talk to Drewby about this because I know we have the same things in marketing. We may have, a sports team in common, a movie franchise in common, a vacation place that we like to go. So then you find underneath it all, because if you ever go to a convention or a conference, you see someone with a name tag. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, hi, you're so-and-so, you work at such and such. That really is all you know. And then you begin the conversation. But it's the personal things that allow you to find those deep levels of communication, those deep things that make you say, well, I'm here for deal flow, but no one wants to do business with people that deep down inside they have nothing in common with, because it's that commonality that brings trust. Once you have trust, you have a big dog, don't you?
Yeah, she's going nuts in the cage right now. Somebody drove by and now she's going crazy.
Yeah, I heard that. Because once you, look, until we're in a position where 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years go by, and you have a new generation that grows up without what we grew up with, which is face-to-face communication, and people have faith and trust in faceless sort of marketing. Because you'll see a lot of people on Instagram in particular, how to start a faceless business. Well, the only reason they're doing that is to make money selling a course. If it was that great, they wouldn't be on Instagram promoting how to do a faceless business. They'd be out there doing it. And then their faceless business would be running. They'd be somewhere in the Bahamas, like living the dream. And they wouldn't be spending their time doing Instagram. Why are they posting on Instagram? Because they have to sell a course. That's what they're doing. So until enough time passes by that people, it's like newspapers. Who reads a newspaper anymore? Your grandparents. Why? They grew up with it. So until enough time passes by that allows people to say, well, that's how it used to be, no one's going to jump on the new bandwagon as fast as they're telling you to jump on the new bandwagon. which is why I don't think AI is going to be this catastrophic destroyer of all humans, the way they're selling it. And the people who are selling that story are only doing it to create fear factors. And then when you create that fear factor, you want to get on the AI bandwagon, which means you start using the product. So the people selling the product start making money. So I think the humans at the core of who we are, going back to what we mentioned before, need community. Strangers need to find other people so that they can have commonalities and break down that wall of being a stranger. So sales will always be about the trust factor, because we work hard to make money. Everybody works their butt off to make money. And you're not just going to give it to someone who says, you know, you don't know me, I don't know you. All of a sudden, I can make you all this money. Here it is. If that's the case, you buy the Brooklyn Bridge and you'll be broke. So marketing will always come down to familiarity and trust.
I 100% agree with you. And what I love about what you're explaining here is that the ability to create rapport is the biggest part of sales. And I think having a tool like yours that says, hey, here's 10 things that you have in common with this person, it makes it easier to break that ice or to get into the rapport quickly versus being like, well, what are you interested in? Or do you like sports? Or do you like, you know, tacos? So those are like awkward conversation type questions. Whereas using this as a tool to say, hey, I can already see that you're super interested in the Washington Redskins and you love Mexican food. My wife and I love Mexican food. What's your favorite restaurant? Now it's more of a genuine conversation versus being like, you know, again, the AI robots that people are selling right now is like, oh, we want to set an appointment for you on this date and time. And then you say, okay, great, that works. And then like, oh, wait, by the way, that's not actually there. Let's try again. There's so much nuance that's missing from it right now that I agree that I don't think it's going to eliminate jobs or be like the Terminator type thing. However, there are definitely ways that we can leverage it from building rapport and creating community. So what I'd be interested to know is like, how many people are using your platform currently?
We launched back in 2023 with an AR-based model where you could hold the phone up, look around, and see people in augmented reality who are on the platform. And then ironically, AR got replaced by AI. So AR faded away. So then we went and we rebuilt, and we're relaunching in about 2 weeks. Our website's dysko.co. You can see basically the model of what we're looking to do. We had 10,000 people using the platform, and we actually hosted, ironically, the world's first augmented reality fan event. And what we did with that is the soap opera Young the Restless is based in a city called Genoa City, Wisconsin. So we allowed users to drop into Genoa City, Wisconsin by entering the location inside the app. It places their physical, so that it places them at that GPS location. And then everyone who would drop in then would see everyone around them. They would see what they have in common, and they started chatting and they started communicating. So we started to realize, and this is before AI, we started to realize that the use case works. We had people connecting, meeting each other in AR, forming these relationships, starting these friendships, and then AR kind of faded away. So we brought AI in. So we had about 10,000 people on that platform. We're looking to relaunch it again with this new AI model. At the moment, people are signing up to use it. So we've got that 10K, but what we're really looking forward to doing is we have contracts in place with convention services, because what they want to do is allow people to attend conventions without physically having to be there. So we allow you to go to conventions globally. You could drop in from one convention to another, to another, to another. And then we allow yourself to play a place we call a disco billboard. So let's say you go to a convention, and let's say it's for, I don't know, sneakers, and it's the Las Vegas Convention Center. You know, you might want to go there and see what it's like, and you're starting to meet all these people. You can place yourself there as a billboard. So you could have, you know, Drewby Wilson's, call the damn leads, and people go, okay, so they can see what you have in common, or you have a sneaker store or whatever. Then you can go to another location, place yourself there, place a billboard. So we're really looking at the use case of how do we use AI and how do we allow people to open up these new avenues. So we're excited to see where it goes from here. I think the use case for what we do is strong. We have about 10 universities, from Syracuse, Kentucky University, Southern University, Bronx Community College even. they've onboarded the product to allow kids before they get to school on the very first day to place their profile at the school. Because you know what it's like. You go to school, when you went there, you didn't know anybody your first day. You leave one junior middle school, you go to a high school, you change towns, you don't know anybody. So we wanted to come up with an idea as well that how do kids get over social anxiety by placing themselves somewhere before they're going to get there, make friends with people just like them. Because you get to school on the first day, you don't know anyone. Then all of a sudden, you might hear someone say, oh, I did this the other day. You're like, oh, into that too. But do you have the courage to go up to that stranger and be like, hey, we're into that same thing as well? So the goal of the product, once again, is to take strangers and build community. So we're excited to see where we go from here.
I really like that, and I think it's super powerful in that, again, time management and efficiency, right? It's like, hey, I'd really love to go to this convention here. However, the expense to travel, family, all the responsibilities that we have as adults and things that go on in this world, the ability to insert yourself in a location like that to make a big impact and know that you're connecting with the right people at the right place.
Correct.
I think that's going to be massive, especially in the sales world, because there are people I know that literally are on the road 200 days a year, going to conventions, traveling here, traveling there, where, yeah, you can FaceTime and you can Zoom and live stream, but it's not quite the same connection because it's just different in how you communicate in those scenarios. It's more of kind of like, all right, we're all on this big Zoom call, but you don't know who the other person is. It's just a bunch of random screen names.
Well, that's true. I mean, how many times have you been on a Zoom call with 10 other people and you say, let's go around and let's introduce ourselves, right? So Disco allows you to broadcast yourself live from any location as well. And what's interesting is why we have great faith in what we're doing is that we pitched Hewlett-Packard Enterprises the technology because we pitched their head of sales for West Coast and Central USA. And we said, how many people are you sending to conventions, say, a week? And they said, well, we're sending like 120 people, literally every week to a convention in order to meet. They said, and I said, so what's your expectation of when you get to these conventions? They said, well, we have like 10 sort of like things we want to try and accomplish. If we accomplish one, then we think it's successful. I said, what does it cost? Gave me a number. I said, how is your sort of the sustainability ESG sort of business model for HPE? And they said, well, it's really important to us. I said, okay, so what if I told you, and look, this comes down to sales and you know this, what is the pain point?
Yep.
What is their problem and what's the solution you offer? That's sales in a nutshell. It doesn't matter what you're selling. Earpods, AirPods. It's like, what's the pain point? Here's the solution. So the solution very quickly, what they understood is that we could send less people. We can go from 120 just down to 10. We could have people who aren't even there physically at that location dropping in, doing all the behind the scenes connecting, have people on the ground there that then could go up to those people and begin the deal flow. But then when they started to realize that we could do this globally and be in all these different places at once doing it, we ended up recruiting that guy to come over to our company to lead up the convention side of the business. And at that point, we knew we had something powerful because they understood being on the road 200 days a year, as you're saying, could get reduced down to the point where instead I'm going with my family on vacation to Hawaii and I'm playing with my kids on the beach. I've got multiple locations placed at multiple conventions, all matching and connecting. Then the AI begins to start to connect with those people about the things we have in common. I'm getting notified when we have the deal flow getting close to sort of being set up. And then I can take over and say, hey, let me have a phone call and talk to you. And at that point, I know everything about you. I know what you're into. I know what you're looking for. And we get to the finish line. And we don't have to go through the first 26 miles of the marathon. We just do the sexy last 800 meters part.
Well, and what I really love about that is a lot of sales professionals right now, especially, and I think kids too, again, they hide behind the screen, but that initial conversation is where people struggle the most. Exactly. They're not confident in what questions they're asking to pre-qualify the business. They don't really have any idea how to genuinely connect with people. In the last 5 years since 2020, like things have drastically changed in the way humans interact with each other. Right. So I love this idea of, hey, let's make it easier to build rapport and to connect with other humans and do it in a way that is based around actual interests versus just saying, hey, you sell stuff, I sell stuff. Maybe we can sell stuff to each other. Right. And look, what I would love to know, go ahead.
I was gonna say, people do that every day. You know why? Because people think if they're spinning their wheels, they're doing something. Because they think, oh, if as long as I'm doing something, I'm being proactive. As long as I'm doing something, I'm being productive. But no, you're wasting your time. So how do you find a way to get more time back and make things easier along the process? And I think that's what technology is for. And that's how you use technology to make sales and marketing more effective, not just selling a course.
Amen to that, brother. This has been an awesome conversation. I got one more question for you.
Sure.
Because you're working with very high-level corporations and colleges, and these are not like typical deals. What do you guys do to really go out and market yourselves as an authority in this space? And how do you differentiate yourself from all the other AI guys that are existing out there?
Absolutely. You know what it's like? It's like you go out on a date with someone. And in the beginning, you might say, oh, they're really attractive. That's why I want to have the date with that person. But you sit down, you start talking, and you realize they're an empty vessel. There's nothing going on. So everybody every day gets pitched by everybody. And after a while, you get pitch fatigue. You get over it. So the number one thing you have to do when you talk to someone at a college or a company like that is when you get that 10 seconds, the first thing you have to do is let them know that you can solve their pain point. And once you make it about them and not about you and what you're trying to do, then everything changes. You could meet anyone in 10 seconds and say, what is the biggest problem you're experiencing right now in your business? Anyone will tell you. It could be Bill Gates or it could be some guy who's selling dog food on the street corner. They'll tell you the number one, here's what it is. And then if you have a solution that can solve that pain point, then you've got their ear. So it's listen to the person, listen to what they have to say. How does that person, and they're going to tell you, what is it that they want? And then once you know you have a solution for that, then it's giving them little bits, and then it's like fishing. Just pull a little bit, let the fish run a little bit. Pull a little bit, let the fish run a little bit. Otherwise, you'll just break the line.
Oh, this has been an awesome conversation. Going into it, and I saw AI, I was like, I don't know what this is going to be like, but this has far exceeded my expectations of a conversation around this specific topic because it's a hot topic right now.
Yeah.
And what I really appreciate about how you approach it is genuinely wanting to solve problems for people, and not just one person, but for the masses.
Yeah.
And when I got into sales, something that they told me early on was, hey, man, if you can solve a problem for one person, awesome. If you can solve it for everyone, it'll make you massively successful.
Right.
And from our conversation so far, Daniel, I have no doubts that you and your team are going to be massively successful with this, just on the fact that it's around genuine human connection, not about eliminating humans having to be there as a part of it. So kudos to you, man. This is awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's so what we believe to be at the core of our business model is humans need humans. Humans don't want to replace humans because that goes against the grain of humanity. You can be told that's what we need, but you can be told many things, and that does not mean it is true.
Absolutely. And man, I'm sure you and I could probably sit here and nerd out on this like all day long, but I want to be respectful of your time. You're clearly a very busy human with a massive mission. What's the best way for me and the followers to come and follow you, watch what you guys have going on, maybe be a part of your platform?
Yeah, thank you. Just if you go to the website, dysko.co, you can see what we do. You can see the product, how it works. You can email us. There's a contact us link on there and follow the journey.
Well, I will for sure be following along and probably signing up because I'm always interested on how I can get our message and mission out in front of more people, because Call the Damn Leads literally stands for calling the leads and genuinely connecting with people. And this is what the platform sounds like it's all about, is helping to create those genuine connections. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Drew.
If you guys enjoyed the show, make sure you go follow Daniel. Check out Disco. I'm going to put all the links in the show notes and everything. And more than anything, remember, AI is a great tool, but it's a tool and it's not a final end all be all for everything. So make sure you're using it in a way that's saving you time, that's creating more opportunity for you to connect with other humans, and it's going to make you massively successful, just like my friend Daniel. So guys, make sure you tune in. If you enjoyed the show, share it, put it on social media, send it to somebody who absolutely sucks at sales and they're trying to hide behind an AI bot because they don't want to do the work. It's going to change their life. And more than that, if you have your own story, if you have something that you want to share about your journey and your mission in sales, head over to callthedamnleads.com/podcast. Send us your details. Let us know. We aren't going to use an AI bot to respond to you. It's genuinely a person on our team that's going to reach out and have that conversation, because that's what really matters. When you connect with people, they'll know you, they'll like you, they'll trust you. And by golly, if you do a daggum good job, they might even want to do business with you. So, Daniel, thank you again for your time, man. It's been an honor.
I appreciate it. Thank you,
You got it. We'll see you guys next time. You know what to do. Go call the damn leads.